Hi there, I'm Luke Sineja, client partner at Sphere, and I'm here with Mario Schwartz, Managing Director of our Data and AI practice. Hey Mario, how are you?
Hello, Luke. How are you today?
I'm doing really well, thanks. Mario, today in this video, we are going to be talking about data and AI. So why don't we start with something around benefits of AI for a business? Can you elaborate?
Sure. I mean, the benefits of AI are infinite, but I would focus on just a few ones, just so people can relate to. I would say first benefit of AI is reduce human error, right? So at the end, the computers are going to be working with the data that you're providing, and if you're not putting your hands on it, it's going to be giving you the right information. So you're taking a little bit of that human error out of it, right? It will help save time, and it will help you achieve, accurate and efficient resource. So it helps the analyst be a better analyst. That's the short of it.
Mhm.
Also, I would say it takes care of repetitive tasks and processes. Nowadays, especially the new generations are really getting, tired really easy if they have to be doing and performing repetitive tasks. Not that the old generations didn't do that, but I think it was different mindset that we used to have than the new kids have nowadays. So I would say, those things that we used to see before, like data collection, data entry, all those type of things, um, are the benefits of AI that you can see right away. Yeah, um, and it handles big amounts of data really, really well. So that's really the big one of the big uses, and how we started using it was, how do you we can grab a lot of data and extract the relevant information that be needed for analysis, or more important, for decision making, right?
Yeah.
So the beauty of AI is that you can use that data through interpretation. Nowadays, remember, that's one of the big advantages of Gen AI, is that you can teach it what it needs to do with the data in particular, and that will basically give you an ability to interpret things. So that's something that years back was very challenging, because if you didn't have all the business rules programmed, it was hard for it to make the right decision. The Gen AI allows you to do that type of interpretation there. So
Yeah.
um, what else can I talk to you about? I would say it helps you with decision making. It's gonna give you quick decision making. I think another thing is improves processes and workflows. It gives you the ability to, well, and the companies to work more efficient. It enhances productivity, which at the end increases revenue, which is what the company is looking for. So, you know, you got to remember one of these benefits that we reflected on one of our clients, that we diminished the time for the analysts to do their work. At the end, they were able to gain 50% of the time back, because they would get the information that they needed in one day instead of in 5 days. So
Mhm.
that's really in there. And the other part is remembering
Mario,
factoring.
can I say something about that point that you made there? So what I like about that use case is the ROI calculation is very simple. So you have an analyst in a financial services company. It's a big salary package. So our customer basically said, we want to grow our revenue by 100% in the next 3 years. But at the same time, scaling the team of analysts was going to have a huge, impact on the actual operational cost. So how do you keep the cost down while increasing the revenue? And this is where the AI use case comes in, where we were able to improve the efficiency of the analyst,
Mhm.
giving them 50% of the time back. So you need half the workforce to do twice as much. And that's very easy for a business to calculate. Like, okay, my ROI is easily identified there, because you are investing X amount of dollars and you're getting Y amount back. So it's easy to sell to the higher management as well, right?
Exactly, and that's really a quick benefit of AI. And I would say the other part is, remember, in manufacturing environments, AI can take care of some of the tasks that humans do, you know, because it can read the instruments, it can bring that information in without putting a human at risk. So taking that ability to take those tasks away, robots can take care of some of those tasks too. And people would you say, hey, but they're taking over my job. No, your job as a human is to interpret what the robot is doing for you, not go do that manual labor. So it also helps, I would say, if the skill set of the humans, because the humans are using more of their brain and less of their big body to do things. But even I think the definition of what a blue collar worker is nowadays, that's going to change in the future, because to me, a lot of the blue collar worker is going to be technology oriented. So you're going to have a lot of operators that are going to be working on, and AI is going to be right there on their day to day.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mario, we've established AI is here to stay and AI makes businesses better. AI helps people, right? That's done. So, what is the best way to implement AI for a business or augment AI into the ops?
Well, I would say I would start first by qualifying AI, because a lot of people, when nowadays are hearing AI, they're just going to one side of the fence, which is Gen AI. That's just one of the tools that AI brings into play. AI has been here forever, and AI is more than just Gen AI. AI is prescriptive analysis. AI is predictive analysis. So, what is prescriptive? Prescriptive is letting you know why things are happening. You know, what is predictive? Predictive is letting you run what if scenarios, which is important, for businesses. A marketing company that can run what if scenarios to say, okay, what is better campaign, looking at the reactions that people are having to it. A company that can say, what if the weather changes? How do I react my business to make it, effective for them to be able to, make decisions, or where they hold events. It's very
Supply
important.
chain with wars is being affected quite badly. So that's another scenario. So if there's a conflict in one part of the world, how that impacts the supply chain with weather. So you can bring in so many external factors and be able to understand and predict the future for your business and make it more risk free, right?
Exactly. And that's not Gen AI generated. That is predictive analytics generated.
Yeah.
So AI is beyond that. So the question here then is really helping the executives understand what is an AI data journey. And more important, talk to them about where it starts, right? So where do we start? Let me answer that question
That
for you.
that's the $1 million question. Where do you begin? We know it's good. We know its benefits. How do you go on this journey?
I would say, the first thing is define an AI use case and validate it, and more important, make sure that that use case is bringing value. So ask yourself this question: what is the most significant and pain point that your operations, your processes right now are facing?
Mhm.
And create a little low hanging fruit list and say, okay, which one has a priority, and focus do into that and solving that. Because the question is, how do you implement a quick solution, to address that problem? If the answer is we cannot create a quick solution for any of these three priorities, then that's not your real priority. Just walk down the list, right? The other piece
Mhm.
is really, ideally, you're looking for starting small. So that's always my recommendation to be successful. 80% plus of projects fail. Both Gartner and Forrester agree with that. McKinsey is a little more generous and say, hey, Gen AI projects and AI projects, 70% fail.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not going to distrust McKinsey, but at the end, the other two guys are saying it's over 80%. But we all agree that that's a high rate of failure.
Yeah.
It's a big risk for an executive telling them to start. Hey, you're gonna fail because
Yeah.
you have a big chance to fail, right? So it's really a challenge for them to do that. So I would say two things. Um, Pick your case really well. Focus on high impact and quick wins, right? And also identify the current use of AI that your company has, because you
Hmm.
may not be aware of it. But one thing that a lot of people are looking at is if you're doing upgrades of your CRMs, for example, Dynamics for Microsoft right now is bringing Copilot as part of it. So he's bringing you a lot of GenAI questions that you can answer on what used to be operational reports before, right?
Right. Right.
So you're using the power of Gen AI to bring you into some prescriptive analytics, because they're not
Hmm.
going to ask you it's not going to answer you the predictive SI, but it can definitely help you put some questions together to understand why things are happening.
Yeah.
So, so that's important. And I would say the other areas is people play with with ChatGPT. You got to make sure that if they're playing with ChatGPT, security is paramount, and don't let them play within your environment inside the company, because
Hmm.
if they're using any processes or data that you already own and that's your own, you don't want that knowledge to be out there in the ether. So
Hmm.
you want to make sure that you protect your intellectual property. Um,
Okay.
I would say the last piece is whatever you design to really say that you are in the right path has to be able to scale. So,
Hmm.
step one, step two, step three, you have to be looking at it not just on step one, but what's going to be my step two, what's going to be my step three, and building upon the success of one and bringing additional value from that. So, going back to what was your question, and is how do we add value and what's the
Yeah.
best way? We got to add value. If you're not adding value and you're not bringing a quick insights, and it's not a quick project, don't do it.
But Mario, I see this as a very complex process, and this is where I think we have already helped several of our partners in extracting and understanding AI. So I think AI is not just about like, hey, we need AI and we implement AI. AI is a lot more education first,
Yeah.
understanding your organization better, and identifying those low hanging fruits, like you said. And if you don't know how to identify those, find somebody who could do it for you, an experienced partner, and yeah, make sure you invest your money wisely, I think, in this project or in these projects.
Yeah, it's key for the people to understand. That's why I say is a journey, right? So I would say the next question that we should really put out there is, how do we do a successful AI journey? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How can a business assure that they are embarking on a successful AI journey?
Well, you got to follow a few core principles, and I would say at least three are very important. You know, that you have to understand to make sure that you know AI becomes a successful journey. So we talk about things that have to be in place before, to make sure that you get to you know a success with an AI project. But how about the journey? And the journey is really understanding what AI is. As I was saying before, AI is not just Gen AI. It's prescriptive, it's predictive, it's machine learning. Then you can go to neural networks, but I don't want to start talking about all crazy technology here, because the reality is the executives are going to ask, okay, what is this bringing me? What's the benefit of using this for me? So we know that it is not new and it's here to stay. We know that it's not a phenomenon. I would say they have created different shifts. It created many operational possibilities for companies. For example, one of the things that we've done is bringing insights to a company where we reduced the time the analysts were, spending analyzing some results to measure the risk of an investment. And what happens is we cut the time for 1 day instead of 5 days, because we use technology not just prescriptive, but we use Gen AI also to help us analyze documents, use those repetitive things that they perform. And now, instead of spending 5 days on bringing a result, they do, one result per day. And that basically increases the business possibilities fivefold. So, you know what business I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it's the one I've been working with you on, so I totally appreciate. So I think the exciting part here is, again, I might sound like, I'm just beating on the same drum, but the ROI is very clear to identify, and this is where I think, you have to begin with the foundations, like understanding what operations that I do today are taking, long, and which part of these operations can be benefited with the use of AI, and where can I augment AI. If you identify those key areas correctly, I think it's very easy for the business to uh, show the ROI of the, like whatever you're investing in AI, you can easily get that money back in months, not years. I think that's the magic of it nowadays, right?
Yeah, and another thing is, and this is something that executives have to realize. This is not here to substitute the humans. AI is a positive force. It is here to enable and to provide efficiencies. And it helps you. It optimizes learning. I mean, you can onboard people faster. It helps you. Provide effective programs. To help your processes and bring things value right in front of you, like the case we were just talking about. So it is very, you have to understand that it's a positive force, is the disruption that is here, it's transformation, but it's something that I would say, is going to be like the fax was back on its days. It changed the way things were done. Who would imagine you get a document through the phone line?
Yeah,
So here,
yeah,
here I would say, what is happening is it allows you to use the human power, more for making decisions, and providing, additional insights for a final result, than just, having people do repetitive tasks. But more important is making you aware of how security and control have to be in place. So you have to have guardrails, right? To guide your company through AI journey. And by the way, remember the European Union just gave yesterday, well, a couple of days ago,
yeah,
their feedback on AI rules, right? Especially for generative AI, and put some guardrails in place. So uh, main reason, security. It allows you to manage your risk, and allows you to manage compliance, and allows you to really help yourself, because the challenge is, a lot of people just look at the technology like a new shiny toy, and they want to go play with it. So if we take into consideration that AI is not new, that AI is not here for substituting humans. I think that it's a positive force, and it helps you with the security. Those three, I would say, tenets show that you can really have a successful AI journey.
yeah. I think I completely agree. I find it quite a funny argument when people say AI is here to replace humans. So AI can only replace humans if the business is set to just stagnate and not grow, its revenue, or has no goals, right? So if you say to me today that I have a revenue of $20 million a year and I want to stay here, then if you augment AI, and you have no revenue growth goals, then I would say, okay, as a business, you don't want to grow, and you just want to replace your people with AI. And I have never heard of businesses that are not growing year by year. Either you grow or you die, I think, as a business. So I see AI as a force for good, making an impact in a way that humans in any organization are more on the decision-making level and let the robotic processes or repetitive tasks, be done by AI. And that's where I see the benefit of AI. So I don't quite go with the train of thought that AI is here to replace humans. I think it's here to make our lives better, definitely. Although I might be too positive, so who knows? But that's my thoughts here. Mario, to conclude this, do you have any you have any ending thoughts that you want to share with the businesses or the audience who might be listening to this video?
Yeah, I would say first remember AI is not just Gen AI. It encompasses all type of what they used to call artificial intelligence, right? I've been working on this for over 30 years. My first AI incursion was 30 plus years ago, and like people don't some modern people, I tell them what a beeper is, and they don't know what a beeper is. but
Mhm.
but back then, the smart system we put in back will send the engineer a code through their beeper and a phone number to call, and they would call the person on call, the engineer on, and they would do the fixings and fix whatever parameters they need to fix to get things in there. And if I mention all the technology I used back then, people nowadays would say, "What is this old man talking about?" But that's how the technology has evolved so much. Things that used to take months to do, you can do in days nowadays with the technology, which is great. So the potential for AI, I think we're just in the beginning. I think that what we have to make sure of is that it really is being used to create a better place for businesses and a better place for us to live in. I think we have to remember the old saying, anything in excess is not good. And more important, as we talked about it before and how you mention it, there's no match with the human brain. Remember, we're using only a portion. So when we learn to use a little bit more of that brain, there's no
What is it,
computer.
5 or 10%, something like that?
There's no computer right now in the world. Doesn't matter if they call it a neural network or they call it,
Hmm.
some fancy name,
Yeah.
can match what we have. So I think I see the future transforming. I don't see the blue collar workers uh, to be the same blue collar workers that are nowadays. I think that people are going to be using their brain a lot more. Will they be relying on technology? Yes, but that on its end will take care a lot of hazardous work that people have to do, you know, away from them. I mean, if you can take, people that work on nuclear reactors or people that work on other hazardous work, high temperature places, and be able to not have them go there 6 times a day, but go there 1 time a day, you
Hmm.
reduce the risk. So I think it, it is important to understand that AI is here to help us. And more important, I would say, AI for businesses should be interpreted as actionable insights. If what you're doing with the analysis is not giving you actionable insights, then I would say you should be looking at spending your hard-earned money into some other project, because at the end, either is helping you operational, is helping you with your process, or is helping you lower risk, or is helping you, improving security. If it's none of those are met, then your AI journey was not being guided the right way, and you should, rethink about it. So I would say, don't worry about your job as a human. Learn what the technology is helping you to be there, Even the new technology is going to help you learn many things a lot faster than before. And technology is here not to change the humans, but to really make our lives easier, both in on business and in our homes.
Completely agree. Mario, I want to thank you for your time. Appreciate
Thank you,
this.
Luke. Well, we'll talk again soon, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.